There's an old saying that says, "Money makes the world go around." And it is, indeed, very important to understand about money matters from an early age. Making choices. Very few people have so much money that they can buy whatever they want, whenever they want it. Most of us will have to make choices about what to spend our money on throughout our lives because we cannot afford everything that we may wish for. Think about the following. Your auntie has kindly given you £10 birthday money. There's a new PlayStation game out, but it costs £35. You'd also like a new item of clothing, a trip to the cinema, and you love sweets and crisps. Clearly, you can't have everything immediately. Should you? 1. Save up for the PlayStation game, as you know you'll enjoy hours and hours of entertainment from it, but you'll have to wait a while to get it. 2. Buy the clothes item and enjoy it, but know that once you've worn it a couple of times, it might not seem so special. 3. Enjoy the experience of a trip to the cinema. 4. Blow the money on crisps and sweets, which you can have immediately, but will be gone quickly. It's a real problem, isn't it? Budgeting and spending habits. Many young people receive pocket money, an allowance, or make some money by doing jobs such as paper round or babysitting. It's important to learn really good money habits from the start. We've already seen that you can't have everything at once. One good tip is to put a percentage of your money away when you get it. Even 10% can make a real difference over time. Another excellent habit is to focus on a goal, something you really want to buy, and then push yourself to save up for it over time. Something saved for seems to have an extra special pleasure when you have had to wait for it. Budgeting isn't about limiting yourself, it's about making the things that really excite you possible. Loans and interest. Once you are 18 years of age, you will find that lots of different companies may offer you loans. Loans are an important part of the economy, and many people have them. With every type of loan, you agree to pay it back bit by bit, including an extra cost called interest. All lenders make their money by charging interest, but the amount charged can vary very significantly. It's so important to work out how much you owe, including interest, and whether you can afford to pay it back each month. Mortgage. A mortgage to buy a house, for example, is a type of loan. For this, you borrow the money over a long period of time, often 25 years, and pay it back bit by bit. Interest tends to be quite low with a mortgage, about 3%, because you will be paying it for so long. Example: borrowing £100,000 for a house over 25 years. Eventually, you will have paid back the mortgage company £157,740. That means that over the 25 years, you will have paid back an extra £57,740 in interest to the bank, as well as the £100,000 that you borrowed. Bank loan. Banks and building societies also lend money for purchases like cars. Example: borrowing £5,000 for a car over 5 years at 10% interest. Eventually, you will have paid back the mortgage company £6,250, including £1,250 in interest. Credit cards. Many people like to have the ability to buy things on credit. With a credit card, you agree that you can spend up to a certain amount and pay it back over a number of months. There's a real temptation with this to feel like you can simply go out and spend on things that you don't really need. It's also a much more expensive way to borrow. Example: borrowing £5,000 just to spend over 5 years at 25% interest. Eventually, you will have paid back the credit card company £11,250, including £6,250 in interest. Payday loans. These emergency loans are charged at an incredibly high rate, and for many people it's almost impossible to manage to pay them back, because including the interest, the amount that they owe goes up a huge amount each month. Borrowing £5,000 just to spend over 5 years at 1,000% interest. Eventually, you'll have paid back the company £130,000, including £125,000 in interest. Student loans. There is one exception to loans with high interest rates, and that is a student loan. This is money borrowed from the government to complete a 3-year course at university, including the cost of tuition fees and living expenses. Because the government are so keen to make sure that anyone, no matter how well off their family is, can go to university, they offer a loan at just 1% interest. Additionally, students only have to start paying off their loan once they have a job which earns over about £20,000 per year. This means that everyone can afford to keep studying if they want to and get good grades. Saving. Equally, banks need to borrow money off people in order to have enough to lend to others. When you have a savings account with a bank, they will pay you interest on what you have saved. Example: if you save £100 for a year at 3% interest, by the end of the year, the bank will owe you £103. National spending, tax, and national insurance. Who do you think pays for hospitals, schools, roads, libraries, police force, army, social security, child benefits, family credit, pensions, and many other aspects of life in the United Kingdom? Many think it's the government, but in fact, the government do not have any money of their own. All of these are paid for by taxes and national insurance. Every person who earns money pays taxes. People who earn below £37,500 per year pay 20% of everything that they earn to the government. If you earn more than that, you'll pay up to 40%. Additionally, we pay further taxes. For example, almost everyone with a car will pay road tax once a year. If you sell a house, you may pay a tax called stamp duty. Did you realise that you pay tax too? Many of the goods that you buy every day have VAT, that's value added tax, of 20% added to the basic price. Goods like tobacco and alcohol are heavily taxed in the United Kingdom. Learning the world of work and future economic well-being. It's really important as good citizens and for our own benefit to try to get a good job that gives us a regular income and a comfortable standard of living. This not only benefits ourselves and our families, but it also means that we are supporting all the important things that make the United Kingdom a great and safe country to live in. To do this, the first and most important step is to get a really good all-round education. Sometimes it's difficult to see why we have to learn so many subjects, especially those that we find more difficult. But during our school years, we do not yet know what we might like to end up doing as a career. It's also important to have good careers advice from an early age. This doesn't mean that you have to know or commit to what you are hoping to do, but it does help when choosing which options to take later on in school. It's also important to try to make the most of other activities that school and the community offers. Most places in the world of work value people who have taken part in sports, drama, music, scouting, or any one of a whole host of interesting activities. Give yourself the best chance possible to do well in and after school so that you can afford the not only essentials, but also a few luxuries in life. Money isn't everything, but money does matter.